First of all, and having an emergency response and humanitarian background myself, if we go to Tana River and it's flooding, you're looking at a disaster where people need to be evacuated to higher ground. You cannot translate that kind of emergency to Nairobi. Because in Nairobi, you're not evacuating people to higher ground. You're evacuating people who are located and settled in and on places where they should never have been in the first instance. You see, when we are talking about disaster response, we have to separate between natural disasters and complex man-made, human-made disasters. And that is why Nairobi as an ecosystem is very important to study. And even the informal settlements where we are saying they're flooding, aren't they still within the jurisdiction of Nairobi? If I were to ask the question, where is the outline of a plan for Nairobi County drainage? Where is it? Within the framework of local area development plans. And this drainage plan has to stretch across every single environ in Nairobi. If we do not have local area development plans, how do we drain the water? And let us also address the fallacy that it is only in informal settlements that you have this flooding. We see Kimau, an informal settlement. You saw people up to their thighs in water yesterday. And anyway, even without flooding, Nairobi is a teeming, stinking mess of sewage and uncollected garbage. That is also a public health emergency about to happen. So as I see people standing waist deep in water, do they know whether there's feces and other waterborne diseases that could begin to come out? So Trevor, the response is not addressing the real and the core issues here in Nairobi. And you know me, I've always called a spade a spade. We're looking at a complete failure of leadership. We're looking at a situation where there has been a proliferation of uncontrolled development, which is not really development, it's anti-development. All these high-rises, all the trees that have been cut down, all in the name of providing employment and responding to a housing crisis. These are all the things that will contribute to the complexity of this emergency, because when you have asphalt, tarmac, cabro, all trees gone, no place for the water to go in, what happens? The water congregates where? On the roads, which begins to corrode and erode the roads. In fact, Kura is in the process of adopting more climate resilient approaches to building roads. So Trevor, let us call it what it is. We cannot have a disjointed approach to emergency response without problematizing what is actually happening in Nairobi. And in Nairobi, there is a failure of leadership, starting with Governor Sakaja and the county. If we're talking about nightclubs and 75 stories and dancing fountains in the middle of these climate-related situations and emergencies, what are we saying? We are saying that as a county, there is no capacity to envision and think beyond things that are linked to PR or things that are linked to showy, happy things, when in actual fact, people are losing their lives and losing their livelihoods every day. Yep. So for me, my approach is integrated, it is holistic, it is complete, and the fish that rots at the head, we take it all the way back to county leadership and that failure. Yep. And it's high time we said, those who cannot stand the heat must get out of the kitchen, and allow those who are really committed to urban planning, those who are committed to really saving and protecting the lives of every single person living in Nairobi to come to the table and do that work, and the others can go away. Look, Trevor, Lavington, Kileleshwa, Kilimani, you saw what happened on Oleodume Road yesterday. Parklands, Westlands, Eastleigh, South C, South B, you name it, Langata, flooding is happening. And every time you build on riparian land, it's not about telling people, move away from the riparian land. It's about asking, how were permissions issued in the first instance? How were rivers downgraded to streams? Because a river doesn't understand downgrading. A river will find its pathway, and this is what is happening. This is an unprecedented disaster. We saw El Nino in the 90s. This is like never seen before. And as the proliferation of illegal constructions continue in this country, we have not seen the end of it. And we're going to continue to drift into the space of anarchy, which we know Nairobi